Welcome to A's Weekly and Major League Baseball All-Star Break edition. A's scrapped out a 3-3 week, which we'll have to take with where it was. We were 1-3, about to be 1-4, and then Laureano got an infield hit, and we won in extra innings. Thank goodness with some cushion, as we kind of maybe saved our season the last two games as far as stopping the slide. Like we mentioned before, the wild card particularly going to be difficult this year in the American League. There's going to be a lot of players in there. And it just, right now I know we're not that far back from Houston, but they're going to get healthy eventually, and so we'll get healthy. But getting Bregman back, it's going to be a big deal for them. And I just feel like you got to secure up the wild card, and we'll go for the division second. So I always just want to secure my spot in the playoffs before I look any further. I do think Houston probably over a regular season is a better team, but doesn't mean we can't catch them. But I'm just focused on definitely securing a playoff spot first. You can hear the background. I got my boy Toby here, my boy Charlie, actually, I should say, and my girl Rosie. It's a new doggy here, so sorry to interrupt with that. But we tell it like it is. We keep it real here. So the thing is, um, Stephen A. Smith's going to be in hot water today. He didn't even say anything wrong. All he said was, "You have to watch the video. Don't listen to what the media will portray." All he said was he thinks that if baseball's biggest attraction is a person that needs an interpreter, it's not good for the game. That's exactly what he said. All he means and said also was he feels like if Mike Trout was baseball's biggest attraction or Bryce Harper was baseball's biggest attraction, he feels that that's better to grow the game. He said that a person who needed an interpreter would not grow the game as well because he said he feels like the American buyer, consumer, that's all of us, would rather have someone that they can understand. And I always felt, you know, Mariano Rivera deserved more commercials. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe he had a in the beginning his best pitcher in my probably in my lifetime, him or Tom Seaver, and I always felt he deserved more commercials. Maybe that's what the people who sell the commercials on Park Avenue are thinking. Who knows? I know that's why all these young guys always, when they sign these commercial deals, they always work on their speech and everything of that nature because whether you be from another country, mastering the language is tough. So Stephen A. might have a point, but either way, it's not a poor point. If you disagree with it, you disagree with it. But there's nothing behind the point except his opinion. It's the world's gotten crazy. But anyway, that's part of the baseball landscape, unfortunately, today, and that's not a good thing. But the A's, like I said, next 17 games, if you include 500 as being a good team, next 17 games, the A's have all 17 of them are with teams that are 500 or above, and that's a brutal stretch. And we have 70 games left. Uh, most of those are away, obviously. So that's going to be interesting. We have 13 left with the Mariners. That's the biggest total we have left. And that's going to be a big chunk. So that's the biggest chunk we have is with the Mariners. Obviously, we have some left with the Yanks. We have some left with the Astros. We have all of them left with the Indians. So we're right in the thick of it. We've already dealt with the Blue Jays, and it's going to be interesting. We've dealt with the Rays as well. And, we have some of them left with the Yanks, and we've dealt with the Sox. So this is going to be interesting stuff, to say the least. So we're going to have to really be on board. Which leads me to the next point. Who's going to be buyers and sellers? CJ Cron's available, but he's not been good. Cruz, who we'd all love to have. Duvall is out there. He's going to be nice. Gallo, who's again, these are people whose contract fits because the A's don't have a ton of money here. They need someone who's going to be a rental. Gibson, the pitcher from Texas. Marquez, from pitcher from Colorado. McCutcheon, I really don't want. Reynolds from Pittsburgh, I really don't want. Smiley, the pitcher from Atlanta. I don't know if Atlanta will be sellers, though. They're still kind of hanging around, even though they had some big injuries now and some arrests, unfortunately. Story, obviously, the A's have been mentioned in, but you read different reports about how the A's are not going to be involved or they're going to be involved. And Kimbrel, closer. So I'd like to pick up Kimbrel, but and that's if the Cubs are sellers. And it looks like the Cubs are going to be sellers. They've lost, I think it's 12 of their last 14, so they're going to be in trouble. But getting back to the wild card for a second, the Sox, the Astros, and the White Sox are obviously the division leaders. The Rays are a game and a half back of the Sox. Jays and the Yanks are 8 games back, so hopefully one of them will eliminate each other. Indians are 8 back of the White Sox. We're 3.5 back of the Stros. The Mariners are 6.5 back, and the Angels are 9.5 back. So in the wild card, it's gonna be fun. Like we're in the last wild card. Mariners are 3 back, Jays 4.5, Yanks 4.5, Indians 4.5. And the thing that scares you there is the Indians have some experience down the stretch. They've had a good manager all these years, and they've always made a late run. And they play a lot of games for us that division, which is pretty weak, with the exception of the Sox. Um, you know, the Yanks always go out and spend money. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And the Jays, of course, they've already jumped in, so why wouldn't they go out and spend some more? In the National League, obviously the Mets, the Brewers, and the Giants are up. Uh, the Brew Crew's got a pretty solid lead. I think all the wild cards will come from the National League West to be the Padres and the Dodgers. And that race is the Padres and the Reds are 4 behind the Padres. So that wild card race, not nearly as many teams involved. So again, the buyers and the sellers. Chris Bryant, Rizzo, a lot of people talking about perhaps he'd be a person that's up for sale. Oh, that third dog entered the room, yeah. Wiley's in the room now, so all three. And the thing is, oh boy, I guess I might have to edit today. Just kidding. The thing is, Chris Bryant obviously being something that's big out there, and he'd be wonderful to get. The A's really don't need that, I'm saying, but I guess anybody could use it. But there'll be some people out there that are really available. What are they going to do with Rizzo? What are they going to do with Baez? So, again, their contract's not as friendly as a guy like Gallows or Cruz for the A's. I'd like to see them pick up him, but I'd also like to see Kimbrel. I'd like to see some bullpen help for the A's. Really disappointed in Luzardo and Puck not being able to help us with this problem. So that's been a real disappointment. If you have to go AL MVP, I guess it's either Otani or Guerrero. There's not much choice. Um, NL MVP, I don't know. I think Tatis has got to get it. DeGrom, obviously, Cy Young. Cy Young in the American League is probably Lance Lynn. He's under a 2 ERA right now, and he's got, I believe it's 10 or 11 wins. So good for Lance, always a strike throwing machine. It's at the halfway point here. Big time sellers. But getting back to our ball club, the A's here, not real happy with what we're doing. Our hitting with runners in scoring position, again, is particularly horrendous. And the A's fan base wants Bush out. Again, and I have to agree with them. The approach is always wrong. I mean, we're coming up there. I know we want to take pitches, and I understand that. But at the same time, if you're taking two down the middle and then swinging at a ball in the dirt, which seems to be the pattern for the A's, the man on base, you need to change your approach, and we need to, understand that contact is paramount. 3 innings in a row the other day, the A's have man on third, less than two out on Saturday's game there, and thank God we wound up winning that game. 3 innings in a row, man on second, nobody out. Again, we had bases loaded, no out, and didn't get a run. I mean, this is 2 times in a week. I mean, this is not good stuff. So the A's definitely need to have a different approach. It's not been good. Here in New York, though, yesterday was a funny day because WFAN is the father of talk radio for sports. Yankees blow a 5-run lead in the seventh, in the ninth to the Astros, and the Mets blow a 5-0 lead to the dead Pirates, albeit the first inning, but still you can't lose that game. And the Mets and the Yankees. So the phone lines have been people wanting to jump off the Empire State Building today, as far as Mets and Yankee fans, and they both would have ended on a great note for the half. The Yankees would have been sweeping the Astros, and the Mets would have been, again, obviously still in first place, but people don't like it when you blow a 5-0 lead, especially to a dead team like the Pirates on a Sunday when it's really getaway day for the All-Star break. But the Mets gave it up. Familia had a rough one, and then Diaz had a rough one. He's been pretty solid, but last couple outings he started to leak a little bit. So All-Star break might be coming at just the right time for him. So what's happened out there is a situation where, again, the buyers and the sellers, and you don't know whether the Angels are going to do it or not. The Angels are on the cusp, but what do you do with Upton? Upton obviously is a good piece. I still think Bundy could be a help. I know his fastball's down a couple of miles an hour, and thus the high ERA. But I still think he's a veteran pitcher that we could benefit from. And for the A's, though, I'm really looking more for bullpen. I feel like our 5 starters have been pretty good. I just would like some more arms. I mean, there was a rumor about going to Arizona for Buchter. I always thought he was pretty solid for us. It's always good to have another lefty. So we really got to take a good look at this in the National League. I mean, are the Nats going to be sellers? Probably not. The Nats could still go off. The Phillies are chasing the Mets. Braves, they could be sellers, but again, they lose Acuna. Albanese is still there. Have other guys with legal troubles, so the Braves are in an interesting spot right there. Smiley might be a guy that they look to ship out. So this is going to be interesting stuff. Obviously, the Padres, Dodgers, and Giants are not going to be sellers. The Yankees are not going to be sellers. The Jays and the Rays are not going to be sellers. So again, it's a fun situation. Are the Reds going to sell? Probably not. This is the first time in a little while the Reds have had a full regular season here where they're still sniffing. I mean, four back is a lot when you're chasing the Padres, who are so talented. By the way, the A's still have some games left with the Padres and the Giants. That's no no layup either, as we say. It's definitely not a softball. So it's gonna be tough. But if you look down here at the list here, who will be selling? I mean, Max Scherzer is up. So if the Nats were to fall out, Max Scherzer is up for his contract. But this is the kind of guy I'm afraid the Astros go and pick up. You know, they've been known to do this. They went and did it with Verlander. They're the type of team that'll go do that with Scherzer. And hey, if you're the Astros, that's a smart move. The A's still dealing with the ballpark issue. And speaking to the ballpark issue, I don't know. I mean, I don't live out there like you fans, and you guys have been there hundreds of times. Is that ballpark fixable? Please answer back, whether it be Facebook chat or YouTube or Instagram. Please, answer back. We're available now. Our podcast is now available on Spotify and iTunes and many others. So we're getting there. Google Podcast also. So we're getting there. We're building up thanks to you good people. The thing is, let me know. Is that ballpark fixable? I know the toilets explode and all the stuff. I kind of want the ballpark to stay in that city because it's a viable economic option for the people. I mean, can't we fix up that park? I mean, wouldn't that be a better option and a little bit less money to have to spend? Is it salvageable? I mean, you guys let me know. I mean, is it? I mean, I'm not there every day. I'm over here on the other coast. You let me know. Is that ballpark salvageable? I like all the foul ground. I like that stuff. I think a ballpark should have some character, and certainly it seems to have some character. Obviously, it's got a lot of problems there, but if it's salvageable, can we do it? If not, can we get the ballpark downtown there, or can we get the ballpark on the water? I mean, I should say the terminal. So I just hate to see it leave and all these people lose a job. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's a valuable part of the city. They already lost the Raiders. I don't want to go to Vegas and have this become Colorado Part Two. A's have always been a strong pitching organization. I don't want to see this become a launching pad. I'd like to see us, keep those same strong roots. I know we've been to Philadelphia and Kansas City, but since Oakland 1968, it will be it's the only place I've ever known as far as being an A's fan. Born in 1957, but the thing is, maybe it is fixable. Maybe we could save some dollars that way. Maybe put that money we saved back into the team. That'd be nice. But again, the key is watching this trade deadline, and I don't want the A's to wait till the last minute here. The team I'm really afraid of is the Mets. They didn't lose any money last year because the big deep pockets boss, he didn't have a team last year, and all the teams lost money, but he didn't have one last year. So how would he have lost money? He didn't. He's the only owner that probably didn't lose money. So you're always really nervous about that. A's obviously didn't pay their minor leaguers last year, so this is a tricky situation. We all know the food scandal. So for the minor league team, so this is going to be tricky. What we do going forward, but the race is going to be really interesting, and that's why, like I said, I am watching that wild card race like crazy. We're a little bit behind the Rays, but we can definitely catch the race. Yanks open up with the Sox coming out. We we'll benefit from that as long as we're winning our game. Somebody's going to be losing there. Rosie, what are you doing? So Rosie's back here. She's busy. She's an A's fan. So we're gonna have to really watch that trade wire, and we're gonna have to watch these Cy Young races, these MVP races. Although I think Otani and Guerrero is a two-person race right at this point, and Tatis I think and Degrom in the NL for Cy Young and MVP. Degrom having an amazing season here in New York. He just needs to stretch out that amount of innings so we can basically shore up his case for MVP, or else I think Tatis is going to run away with it. But again, watch the trade deadline this next week coming up. It's only a 3-game week, I believe. We got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? With the Indians. Very big series. If we could take 2 out of 3 from these guys, or maybe even sweep them, we could put them in the distance a little bit in the wild card here and get them out of us. I mean, they're 4.5 behind us. If we could take 3 games off the calendar and stick another one in them, make them 5.5 behind us, that's huge because now we're down to 70 games left approximately. And now you can really start watching those magic numbers. And we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And so we salvaged that 3-3 week, and it was 1-3. So I'll have to take it again. You'd like to go 4-2 in that week, but at the same time, we're 5-5 versus the Rangers, and we were 3-5 versus the Rangers. So this is not a good situation. We need to finish up these last 9 with the Rangers in a better fashion. And we have the Angels a lot left. I think we have 6 left with the Astros, or 7, and then we're done with them. So again, no Giants, Padres, not going to be easy. So our schedule is tough down the stretch here. In the American League Central, like I said, we still got all of our games with the Indians left, all of our games with the White Sox left. The schedule is rough. I will kid you not. I'm trying to be hopeful, but we do have a tough schedule going down the stretch here. We have played the Royals. I believe we've done that. We're done with them already. Like I said, White Sox and Indians we're not done with, so that's going to be a big thing. So we really got to be careful there. But going forward, again, let's try to keep our ear open for the Stephen A. Smith stuff. I mean, which is not really anything. Man gave an honest opinion. I don't usually agree with Stephen A., but man just gave an honest opinion. I don't think there's any ulterior motive behind it. He stated something that he really believed, and he backed it up with some common sense knowledge. And of course, people today, as sensitive as soft bread, basically are going to try to crucify the man for it. But his point, if you listen to the conversation, go to ESPN, listen to the conversation, and he brings up some valid points. And we've seen it with other athletes in the past, and so you can look back for yourself and try to see what you think it is. If it's good for baseball, that person needs an interpreter to be the prime focus in the game, and obviously Otani is the focus this week in the All Star game. He just offered up an opinion. I don't think there's anything mischievous about it. He just offered it up, and so in his usual passionate fashion, and I'm sure people will get all upset by that, but keep that trade deadline open. I really like Cruz and Kimbrel. If I was Santa Claus, I would give you Cruz and Kimbrel. But if I can only take one, I'll take Kimbrel. I'll take the closer. Um, but we just need to find a way to get a little deeper in that bullpen, and we need some depth in that pen. And we got to find a way to do it. And if we don't find a way to do it, that's going to come back and bite us. Two teams that we were on the outside looking in, the Nats and the Cards. You got to watch them because the Cards could sell, but the Cards have had such a great history in their organization. You never know, they can make a run and get back in here. And same with the Nats. So we got to keep an eye on that. But the Nats, I mean, I don't really know if they have any veteran talent that they'd be looking to turn. I don't know what Trey Turner's contract is, but obviously Scherzer's up at the end of the year. So that's the one to watch. And the Cards, we got to take an eye on. And we'll see you next time on Telling It Like It Is.